Look at this massive hummingbird carved into the Peruvian desert. This geoglyph features mathematically straight lines and precise sweeping curves stretching across the arid floor. There are hundreds of these shapes scattered across the region. Here is a monkey with a tightly coiled spiral tail. Some of these figures, like spiders and condors, stretch longer than a modern football field. The Nazca people etched these designs into the ground over 2 millennia ago. That creates a physical paradox, because this ancient civilization had no means of flight. They engineered a sprawling, immaculate canvas for an airborne perspective they could never physically reach. When you stand on the desert floor, that artistry disappears. From this ground-level perspective, a human observer on foot sees no sweeping birds or monkeys, just a shallow dirt trench and piled stones. If you walk along one of these grooves, you only see a disconnected path etching out to the horizon. The lines offer no recognizable shape or context at a human scale. Walking a straight line in the dirt is simple, but plotting sweeping, complex geometric curves when you are blind to the overall image is a different challenge. How did this society scale up hand-sized sketches across hundreds of feet of desert, working piece by piece without ever seeing the big picture? To map a small sketch to a vast desert grid, the Nazca used geometry. A central stake anchored the drawing. A measured cord acted as a giant compass. Multiplying these measurements plotted precise angles, scaling every sweeping curve perfectly. Through this methodical, piece-by-piece methodology, they translated a tiny blueprint into a 300-foot geoglyph, all without relying on a single machine or an aerial view. Construction is only half of the story. These lines are nothing more than shallow scrapes in the dirt, yet 2,000 years of weather hasn't erased them. Creators scraped away dark surface stones, exposing a pale trench beneath. This fragile setup should easily wash away in storms or be buried by dunes. However, the Nazca Desert receives practically zero rain or ground-level wind. These drawings survive today because the Nazca placed them in one of the most changeless climatic time capsules on Earth. This brings us back to the foundational question. Why invest immense effort into intricate shapes that your own people can never actually perceive? This high-angle view of a spider geoglyph shows how altitude creates sudden clarity and proportion. Because the massive shapes only resolve into recognizable images from an immense vertical distance, the intended audience had to be airborne. Archaeologists deduce that these colossal figures were constructed as massive religious offerings, designed for the eyes of gods living in the sky. By locking their masterpieces behind a sky-high perspective, the Nazca kept the visual purpose of their work hidden from humanity for 2 millennia. Today, even with modern aircraft, human eyes in the sky are no longer enough to identify every marking. Researchers now deploy drones to fly over seemingly empty patches of rocky terrain, capturing thousands of high-resolution topographical data points. To a human reviewing this data, the eroded ancient carvings look like a chaotic jumble of natural rocks and geological noise. To solve this, researchers feed the scans into artificial intelligence systems designed to filter out the natural terrain. The digital filter strips away that background noise, isolating the exact contours of ancient carved warriors that had faded into the desert background. Just as the Nazca used surveying geometry to expand their art across the desert floor, we are now using computational algorithms to find what they left behind, rapidly mapping an interconnected canvas that was hidden in plain sight.